Hi, I'm Graham and welcome back to Man vs Film. Today I am going to be reviewing the Blu Ray from 88 Films of Eyeball. A movie I'd never heard of before until it was suddenly announced, and I primarily was grasped by the fact that this was a movie that I've heard mentioned before many times from Quentin Tarantino, as regarded as one of his favourites. I am not by any means an expert in giallo films, but I am curious about checking many of them out. Some of them I find to be a little bit more obtuse than others, but this one was one that I'd heard good things about. It's directed by Umberto Lenzi. Now, the basic story is about a busload of tourists who are touring through Spain who start to get picked off one by one by this masked killer wearing a red raincoat that's stabbing them in the eyeball. And that's pretty much it. We have this core group of characters whom, and this is one of my favourite things in murder mystery, they layer up everybody as a suspect. Every single person in this movie is possibly doing these murders, and it's the only people we know aren't doing it are the ones that have been murdered themselves. Even in typical situations, just regular conversations, people will have those looks off to the side that are squinting, that are either they are expressing curiosity about a certain character, or it's one of those evil kind of looks that go like, that could be them, or they're saying really obtuse things that just puts them in the limelight of being the possible killer. The movie has all these different locations that keeps the movie fresh. It's all these characters whose interactions I really did like, and I liked how the more we moved into the movie, the more we discovered these characters and how their relationships were all fractured, frayed, or completely broken in certain circumstances. You know, everything on the surface looks pleasant and everything is fine, but as we sort of spend more time with this group of characters, as we seek into their psyches and discover what they're all about, we discover how they're all kind of fractured people. And then there is this past story, the man who is in the limelight, the possible suspect of these murders, and how something like this happened to him back home in America. And it becomes with it this kind of murder mystery of what happened then and how it is moving forward into this movie. And it is expertly directed by keeping us constantly on our toes, by not letting us know who's going to be the next victim or who is the current suspect. We have this aging, retiring detective, which is a trope we've seen done plenty of times before, and he has a young sort of trainee with him who's going to take over his position, and they just seem to come and go in the movie to drop off some exposition, to accuse a character, to redeem a character and say that they're no longer a suspect, and then disappear for large swaths of time, regardless to the fact that every time these group of people go to a location, somebody ends up dead. These people, even locked in the hotel, somebody ends up dead, and yet at no point did they decide to just put police all round about them to hold them captive. I kind of love that lack of logic in these kind of movies. And even when we get to the end of the movie, when we get who the killer is, I liked it. I kind of, it was the person I thought it was going to be, and it gave a good reason as to why it was that person. You know, a lot of times with the giallo movies, it'll just pull the rug from under your feet and give you a suspect that you would have had no way or ability to be able to figure out how they had managed it, and it just kind of wraps up and ends. This one, it feels fully contained, and it's terrific to watch. So we get the mystery that has propulsive elements all the way through it, constantly keeping it going, constantly giving you murder scenes that are sort of well staged, giving you a variety of locations that are all interesting and varied, giving us groups of characters that at first seem just archetypes but start to grow into fully fledged characters, all having various backstories that all could lead to them being the murderer. It just layers this thing up and creates a really fun movie. Now, there is some massive extras on this disc as well. If you're one of the first people to get a hold of it, you will get this lovely slipcase that comes with this release, and we have the dual format disc inside as well. There is obviously a booklet in this, and there is some postcards as well. The booklet gives an almost rundown of Lenzi's career, talking about the various stages of the movies he's worked in, and there's some really nice information in the booklet itself as well. On the disc we have a location, which is just a 2-minute featurette showing some of the locations now and how they were when they made the movie. We have an amalgamation of various trailers, which runs just under 6 minutes in length. We have Eyeball on Martine Brochard. It's a 16-minute conversation with the main actress in this movie and how she viewed some of her career and her performance and the legacy of this movie. And then, as if that wasn't enough, we get All Eyes on Lenzi, an 84-minute documentary on this filmmaker. Now, this is a filmmaker that I don't know too much about, but going into this documentary, I learned so much about the man. And I'd seen 2 other Lenzi movies before. I have seen Cannibal Ferox and I've seen Nightmare City, so I kind of thought he was just one of these horror directors that came out in the 70s, but it turns out that he was making movies well before that, and seems to be one of these directors that could have turned his hand to almost anything, whether it be Eurocrime or whether it be a sort of Conan rip-off or cannibal movies. He seems to be able to just fit into whatever was the current trends and make a really competent, really interesting movie. It's a director that I now want to go back and check out more of their movies to see what else he's done. I'm really interested in some of the crime ones as well. For me, Eyeball, this disc is an instant pickup. If it's something that you're in 2 minds about, I say go for it. It is a fantastic disc. The 84-minute documentary alone is worth the price on this thing, and I think it's something that should be in everybody's collection because it's just fantastic. From the great movie to the tremendous extras, it is an instant pickup. And if you happen to be a Lenzi fan and know a little bit more about his career than I obviously do, I would love it if you would drop a comment, let me know which movie I should check out next, what is some of the standout movies that Lenzi has directed. I really appreciate that. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Man vs Film.